If it went quiet around here, there was a good reason. It wasn't expected, but I was building something pretty big. So stick around because we're going to get stuck into it, and I'll give you a top tip for Monday that you can use too. Hi everyone, welcome back to Law Lenz. My name is Sanam and thank you so much for tuning in to the Employment Law Done Right podcast. Like I said, it went quiet here for a very good reason, because for the last couple of months, I have been heads down making and building something big, and it's something that I wanted to give you for a long time. A proper home for the work that I actually do. It's called Law Lenz and it's my website and it is live. And I'm coming to my podcast community first because you are literally the backbone of Law Lenz. You are the reason why I started this, and you have always supported me from day one. And I really wanted to give back to the community as much as I can. So look, this episode is going to be short. I just wanted to tell you what Law Lenz is, who it's for, and what is coming this week. And before you go, I will give you one thing you can use on Monday morning. Who is Law Lenz for? What is Law Lenz? Well, let me give you a bit of an intro. For anyone that doesn't know me, hi, my name's Sanam. I am a practicing employment lawyer. I have been doing this for a better part of a decade across Australia and New Zealand. Something that I have learned over the years is that employers generally have good intentions, and what ends up happening is those good intentions get lost along the way because a process is botched or a conversation doesn't happen out of fear for retaliation or opening up a can of worms. And all of a sudden you might have an underperforming employee and you don't know what to say, or a resignation that seems like it's now verging on constructive dismissal and it's not sitting right, or even a trial period that's running out and you're realizing, okay, we're now on the 88th day and we're realizing that we haven't ticked all the boxes that we need. Are we going to be okay? And because of that, it becomes much harder to manage your people and to run your business. So you go looking for the answers and you find two things. Either the government website, which we know, Employment NZ, will sit there and tell you the best practice approach or what you should be doing, but it doesn't actually tell you what to do with the information that it's given you. And what I've noticed more than ever, I did a post about this recently, is that the Employment NZ website will say one thing, but the law doesn't require you to do it. And that's where you fall into these traps as an employer of what is truly a compliance requirement for me and what is more best practice. That is one issue and one hurdle that you get when you go looking for an answer. But then the next one is the AI hurdle that's come up now, right? You think that if you give your information to GPT or Gemini's or whatever you're using, Claude, whatever it is, you will get an answer that's relatively okay. But it doesn't know what it doesn't know. And if you're prompting it using half information, it might not fill in the gaps. More so what the issue is that it takes no responsibility. It doesn't know your exact situation. It gives you a disclaimer saying that we make mistakes, it can't be trusted. And neither of those avenues help you at 4 p.m. on a Thursday when you have to make a call on the spot. And this is what Law Lenz is aiming to fix. I want to fill this gap. I want to help businesses take employment law and turn it into something you can actually use. I'm talking about having that difficult conversation, starting that performance management process, making sure that managers feel confident so that they can do all of this without rushing to HR for the most simplest conversations that need to happen. I look at it from the perspective of compliance actually creates a healthier workplace. I have noticed that as soon as we say that the workplace needs to get better, we need more harmony, the first thing everyone jumps to is culture. Compliance creates a better workplace. And I know it sounds bizarre, but hear me out. I believe truly that training and just getting that employment law education in a way that's simple can really help with. And because you haven't been given those tools, how are you expected to create a good, healthy, safe, and harmonious workplace? And that's what it really boils down to for me. So I want to run workshops for your team, short courses that you can work through at your own pace. Right now, I've got the waitlist open for Set It or Regret It, and also coaching. Not necessarily legal representation, but coaching. When you want a real person to think through it with you and to actually help you sense check what you're going through. It's only upwards from here, truly, and I'm so excited. Well, here is something you can use on Monday. I am a firm believer that most employment problems don't start where you think that they start. Unfortunately, in my career, I've had to see where it gets a real spicy and curly, and we're right at the end of the situation. Personal grievance has been raised, and I'm sitting there going, I can actually trace this back. So this conversation happened 6 months ago here. Employee said X, Y, and Z, and then the employer turned around and something was said during that time. And that's obviously sent this whole situation snowballing. It starts months earlier. And what I've noticed a lot is it starts from unclear expectations, that nobody sat down and set a clear expectation with their employee. So if you hired someone and you told them the role once on day one in a rush while 3 things were on fire and you assumed that they understood, they assume something completely different. Trust me, I've been through it. They have no idea. And the gap between those 2 assumptions is where almost every dispute I have ever seen begins. But I will implore you to try these 3 things. When you set an expectation, say it out loud. Let the employee know, but put it in writing. Doesn't have to be disciplinary. It's not anything like that. Just set it in writing. Could be an email, could be a Slack message, could be a Teams message, could even be a letter of expectations. But put something in writing. Be softer in it. It's not a disciplinary meeting, like I said. And then check that they heard the same thing that you said. How do you do that? Maybe have a casual catch-up, a one-to-one with them. See how they're tracking along. See if they have any questions around the expectations that you've set. That says, look, if you have any concerns or if you believe that the expectations were different to what's mentioned above, please let me know. You can absolutely do those things. And that's it. I know it's boring. I know it's not glamorous. I get it. But it will save you a lot of grief. And I've noticed that the simple things are what's often the biggest blocker and the biggest issues in a business. So what's coming? I am releasing a 3-part series, so you will see that next week on the Employment Relations Amendment Act changes. I know that the dust has kind of settled around that. Everybody's looking at the employment leave legislation, but I wanted to see where we're at now in terms of a few months in, because I can see people still asking questions around this. And so I wanted you to know what it means for you with these changes and where we're at in terms of the legal landscape. If we've seen any cases, go to the authority. And if you manage people in New Zealand, you'll probably want these episodes. These are key changes that have happened from contractors all the way through to the 200K unjustified dismissal threshold. So we will get stuck into that next week. But for now, please go ahead and have a look at the new website. It's lawlenz.co.nz. We know Law Lenz is spelt with an NZ. Have a look at the workshops while you're there. If your team needs training on any of this stuff, that's exactly what I do. And I will be more than happy to work with you. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a lovely day, night, evening, morning, whatever it may be. And I'll catch you in the next one, everyone.